Never ever date somebody who is in a crisis. Now, what is a crisis? A crisis is any situation that hampers the normal functioning of a human being, either physically, emotionally, mentally. Now, I don't want us to overthink about a crisis here and then we start thinking, is it fire? Is it famine? Let me break it down for you. For example, if somebody has just given birth, a woman has just given birth, and you're coming in to date her, or she's just 6 months since she gave birth, she's still in what we call baby blues. Any woman who has ever given birth knows what I'm talking about, what I mean by baby blues. Or somebody is in a crisis of financial crisis. They are struggling to pay their own bills of their existence. In other words, they have not yet afforded their life. Don't date such a person. Or somebody is in an emotional crisis. They are grieving. They lost their dear one. Someone lost somebody close to them. They are still in grief. They are still in sorrow. They are still in deep emotional turmoil. And then you're coming in to date them. It is the grave and the greatest mistake. Or, some men go back to high school or campus to look for wives. So they get girls who are stranded, who can't pay their tuition or who can't pay their rent, who can't pay their upkeep. They're in a financial crisis, then they go and take over the parental role. Now, on top of dating a young girl who does not know herself yet, you're also dating someone in a financial crisis. So don't date such people. If your goal is to get married, if your goal is to get a partner, if your goal is to get a companion to do life with, if you're ready to marry, don't you go there and date people in such crisis. Why? Now, in this video, I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to talk to the person who is in a crisis. Don't date when you are in a crisis. Or don't date a person who is in a crisis. Let's begin with, don't date a person who is in a crisis. Why? The biggest reason is because it is hard to know who they really are. Their character will not be shown. If somebody is busy looking for money to pay for their rent, if somebody is busy looking for money to feed themselves, you can't know who they are. Or if they are in debts, if the bank is chasing after them for a loan, you can't know who they are. Right now, at that moment, the kind of image they put is that an image of goodness, of jolliness, of softness. They look like they are harmless. You can't know who they really are because the crisis is humbling them. Don't you mistake that. Now, we are not saying all the people in a crisis are bad people, but we are simply saying that you are simply gambling there. And if you cannot tell who the person, because that is one of the major reasons of dating, you date to know who the person is. Now, if a crisis is denying you that chance, then there is nothing more than you're doing there except a gamble. It means you're gambling. Tomorrow, you will take them, and after the financial crisis, they become themselves. Now they go back to be who they really are. The behaviors you knew, the beliefs they had, the kind of life they were living when they were in a crisis, now after you help them come out of the crisis, they go back to themselves. Remember, human behavior is so organized that people will always default to their real character and habits when they are okay. A crisis might shift them a little bit. Understand? If a woman is in baby blues, she can actually accept you. She can be good, harmless, present. And she might even be present. Tomorrow when she goes back, when she comes out of the baby blues, you realize that her child is always number one. And she will tell you boldly, you know what? I can't put you first than my child. First of all, you my child first. And tomorrow she chooses you over. I'm not saying that she should choose you and leave the child. I am simply saying if somebody comes into companionship, it means they will have to put their partner first. And then the child comes. I'm not telling you to choose the partner and leave your child. No. In fact, the two of you will become partners and then you will be able to take care of the child together. But make no mistake, it is the partner who clings to the partner here. It is not the child who clings to the parent. Understand? In fact, in any case, even the Bible says, you leave your parents to cling to your partner. Cleave to your partner. This is the idea here. So tomorrow she will choose, after she goes back, she recovers, she chooses her child. You realize in that union, you are married to yourself. The woman is married to her child. Or if somebody is grieving, tomorrow they wake up from grief, they become okay, and they will even accuse you of taking advantage of them when they were down. And they will be right, because ideally that's what you did. You took advantage of them. So that's why you shouldn't date. Tomorrow somebody will change. That is why you see these girls, after you pay for her tuition, or after you help this woman out of a financial crisis, she dumps you and she goes with a man who aligns with her. You can't blame her. You play the role of a parent to pay for her tuition. You dated somebody who was in a crisis. The key, the underlying, the bottom line is somebody in a crisis, you can't know who they really are. The character you see there is because the crisis has humbled them to when they get back to normal, when you help them out of the crisis, they can turn to be a different person altogether. That's why people usually say, she changed. She changed. No, she never changed. She had never been herself. He had never been himself. Now he is able to be himself because the crisis is normal. And you will not like that kind of behavior you will see. So if you date somebody in a crisis, it means you will not be doing anything more than a gamble. And we all know what gambling does. Most of the times, in fact, majority of the times, it is not always the result we desire. The results always go the other way. So life is too short for you to go around gambling. Okay? Life is too short for you to go around gambling. That is the purpose of dating. If you can't know somebody's character by the time you're done with the dating process, then you did nothing there. There's nothing you're doing. Which means the crisis is going to hamper that process of you knowing the person, which means go away, leave the person. If you've chosen to help out of charity, but don't mistake it, look for love. Now, let's come to the person. Why shouldn't you date? If you are the one in a crisis, if you are the one in baby blues, if you are the one in a financial crisis, if you are the one in grief, why shouldn't you date? The first reason you shouldn't date is because you will not know whether the person really loves you or they're coming closer to you because they have pity and sympathy for you. Many times people mistake those two. People mistake those two. Someone is helping you, someone is coming closer to you because they pity and sympathize with you. They don't necessarily love you. And then for you, you mistake it for love. You can't tell when you're in a crisis. You can only tell whether someone loves you if you're not in a crisis. Now, how do you differentiate between whether someone has sympathy and pity for you or love? Now, we usually love people because of their strength. It is people's attractiveness, strength, and their liveliness that draws us to them. If you're drawn to someone because of the way they speak, because of their confidence, because of their thinking, because of any strength and liveliness within them, that is love. But if you're drawn to someone because of their situation, because they're in sorrow, because you always comfort them, you console them, you always, you help them through sorrow, that is pity and sympathy. So many times when you are the one in a crisis, someone is coming because they are seeing your situation with a child. Because they are seeing your situation, you really have a talent, but you do not have the tuition to pay. They are coming to help you in that crisis because they have sympathy, not love. So tomorrow, what is the problem? Tomorrow when you come out of the crisis, the sympathy disappears. And you realize they didn't love you after all. It was just sympathy. The second reason as to why you shouldn't date if you're in a crisis is because this person will never see you as a companion, as an equal. They'll always see you as someone they did a favor, as someone they helped. Even when you recover from the crisis, they will never include you to the planning of the family. They will never see you as a partner. They will always see you as someone they did a favor, which means they will need some kind of unquestioned loyalty in return. They will need you to stay there and watch them do whatever they want to do. Why? Because they made you. They helped you. If they paid your tuition at campus, they made you. In actual sense, they did. If they helped you through grief, they see you as someone they just met. Some girl they helped when she was grieving. So don't date or don't date people in crisis. Cheers.